I'm a little worried about this. I had a crack once in a boat, just a little hairline crack. And the title of my book about it is A Mile Down, because that boat sank in 5,000 feet of water, a big 90-foot, very strong steel boat, because of a little crack. And these are really big cracks. And I've been reassured by a couple of people that it's okay in wood to have these cracks, that from the drying process it's normal. I don't know.
A potentially leaky boat is one challenge. The rigging is another. The bas-reliefs at Deir el-Bahri show dozens of intertwined ropes and complex knots keeping the sail attached to the yard. What is most puzzling is how the ropes are wrapped around the mast. No other visual image of these boats exists. The only hope is that these ancestral techniques have transcended the ages. Cheryl travels from Alexandria to nearby Lake Barolus in search of a clue.
So, at Barolus, when I first saw these boats, the first thing that I saw was the short mast and the yoke on the mast, because suddenly I could see the relief from the temple. And exactly what the function of that yoke around the mast is for. Because all we see is the little twisted line, and in fact, it's the backstay, I think.
Yeah, I can see right now, I see some out there and there's no backstay, so that mast yoke is substituting for backstay.
Lake Barolus has some strange-looking flat sailboats with short masts and huge sails. The way the mast is fixed to the hull intrigues the archaeologist. An enormous knot, made up of several ropes, reminds her of the rigging seen in the bas-reliefs at Deir el-Bahri.
To me, this is just amazing. It's another one of those times when you can touch the past.
Right.
3,500 years ago, thousands of years ago.
The very same system.
People are using the same forces, the same mechanics, slightly different materials.
Yeah, so we'll have the mast and then two pieces of wood on either side, and then the tie going around the middle. And that should keep the wood from breaking and should be a very strong attach point for the line.
Okay.
Wow. Wow.
In just one more month, the boat must leave the shipyard and head for the Red Sea. It's down to the wire as Maruz and the other shipwrights put all of their remaining energy into finishing it.
دي حاجة كويسة ونفتخروا ان احنا عملناها ونزلناها المية في احسن صورة. يعني حاجة جميلة خالص. ما كناش يعني حد يحلم بالموضوع ده.
A few minutes after the boat is launched, water seeps in through the tiniest cracks in the hull. According to the archaeologists, the wood should absorb the water and begin to swell. They predict it will be 2 weeks before the hull reaches maximum expansion and becomes watertight. The boat has now been in the water for 2 weeks. After 12 hours, all of the water is finally pumped from the hull. Mohammed leaves the boat. But is it watertight now?
On a un problème. Là, au début, c'était très bien parti. La construction, le choix du chantier, l'efficacité du travail, la durée du travail. Il y avait un rapport qualité et vitesse qui était très bien. Mais cela n'empêche pas qu'il y ait un problème et il faut trouver une solution.
Archaeologists have never found any evidence to show that the Egyptians ever caulked their boats. So how can they make the boat watertight using an authentic, ancient technique? What did the Egyptians do? Mohammed and Tom will find the answer to their problem right in the shipyard itself.
So this is linen fiber.
Yeah.
I wonder what would happen if we put this between our planks.
For hundreds of years, people here have been stuffing plant fiber into the cracks between planks of wood as a method of waterproofing. In ancient times, other seafaring peoples, such as the Greeks, used beeswax to make their boats watertight. So why not use beeswax as well? With no other alternative or additional archaeological evidence, this becomes their chosen option. The boat has now been under construction for 10 months. Final touches are being made. 2 rudders are carved out of huge pieces of wood. Cotton sails, each measuring 15 meters in width, are woven. In the streets of Rashid, a dozen men are busy making the rigging. Using strands of hemp fiber, they twist together several kilometers of rope in different thicknesses.
صوت ساري اضبط على عندك ارفع عشان يسقط هنا حب النبوب يا لله يا لله يلا حب النبي نازل ماشي على واسمع اليد صلي على النبي ايوه واحد يلا واحد
Congratulations.
عقبال الماشي
Now it's yours.
Beautiful.
Now it's yours.
الحبل اللي قدام ده نشده عليه ونشده
I'm really amazed to be at this point. to see this mast up finally, and we've been waiting, organizing this, and finally, okay, here it is, the mast is up. Now I'm just anxious to get on with the rest of it. Why do we have to break for lunch? I want to get the yards on board, sort out this mess of lines, make some order out of it, and just get on with it.
Before it leaves the shipyard, the boat is christened Min, in honor of a fertility god in the Egyptian pantheon. A few days before the original expedition set sail, Queen Hatshepsut had the temple priests create a statue of herself with the god Amun. It would be offered as a token of friendship by the expedition's captain to the inhabitants of the land of Punt. The winds were blowing in the right direction when messengers brought the news to the Queen that her fleet was finally ready to sail. All they required was her signal. She gave the order for the ships to depart. Almost a year after construction began, Min is ready for her maiden voyage. What seemed an impossible challenge has become reality. The boat engraved in bas-relief at Deir el-Bahri has come back to life 3,500 years after its first expedition. But now they are out on the open sea, new questions arise. Will the boat weather the gusty winds? Is it strong enough to withstand the swells of the Red Sea? Will it find the route Hatshepsut's fleet took to reach the land of Punt?
Yeah, well, I want to just go straight downwind first, see how that is, what the speed is, and then we can change a little, see how the speed is.
How much speed?
Yeah, just try to learn today.
Okay.
One of the crew's primary concerns is the rigging. The archaeologists have recreated, as faithfully as possible, the sail and mast system seen in the Deir el-Bahri bas-relief. But getting a hang of the ropes isn't easy.
When you look at the sail, it looks like we have a lot of lines going and that it's very confusing and complicated. The 16 below and 6 above, we never change those. They stay in place. So it's actually a much simpler rig than it looks like when you first look at it. We only have 4 lines to pull up the sail and 2 lines really to control side to side and 2 others that we don't really use. But that's it. So it's really simple, actually, much simpler than it looks.
The boat seems to be going really well right now. We're surfing on some of these swells down to, 7, 8 knots sometimes, and getting a nice push from behind with the wind. It's going really well.
Min's voyage is a faraway echo of the journey Hatshepsut's fleet may have undertaken.
Don't pull hard on it.
At sundown, Nahisi's fleet probably lowered sails and came back to shore to rest, get their bearings, find water and cook.